A warrior may fall, but his legacy stands tall. If you truly understand the story of U Kiang Nangbah, your heart may ache and your eyes may well up with tears. The rolling hills and verdant valleys of Meghalaya have long been home to tales of courage and resistance. Amidst this landscape, the story of U Kiang Nangbah, the brave freedom fighter from Jaintia Hills, stands out as a beacon of hope and defiance against oppression. His name echoes through the ages, a testament to the unwavering spirit of the Jaintia people. This essay delves into the life and times of U Kiang Nangbah, exploring his early life, the historical context of his rebellion, and the impact of his sacrifice on the fight for freedom in northeast India. U Kiang Nangbah's story is not just a historical account, but a powerful reminder of the importance of cultural identity and the right to self-determination. His legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit, fueled by the love for one's land and people, can overcome the mightiest of obstacles. U Kiang Nangbah, the freedom fighter of Jaintia Hills. In 1832, the Jaintia Hills region was peaceful, free, and full of joy, with its natural beauty untouched by any foreign rulers. U Kiang Nangbah was born in 1835 to his mother, Ka Rimai Nangbah. He later became a legendary freedom fighter, leading a rebellion against British rule in the 1860s to protect the independence and traditions of his people. His courage and ultimate sacrifice made him a symbol of resistance in Meghalaya's history. U Kiang Nangbah was born in Tpep-pale, Jowai, in present-day West Jaintia Hills, in 1835. He belonged to the Jaintia community, which is part of the larger Khasi Jaintia ethnic group known for their matrilineal society and strong tribal traditions. His early life was simple, primarily spent in farming and participating in traditional customs and community gatherings. He grew up witnessing the cultural and economic changes imposed by British colonial rule, which deeply influenced his later resistance. He was born into a time of significant change as the winds of British colonialism were sweeping across the Indian subcontinent, leaving their mark on the ancient traditions and ways of life of the indigenous communities. The Jaintia society, known for its matrilineal system where lineage and inheritance are passed down through the female line, nurtured in U Kiang Nangbah a strong sense of community and a deep respect for their cultural heritage. Growing up amidst the picturesque hills and valleys of Jaintia Hills, U Kiang Nangbah imbibed the spirit of freedom that resonated with the land. Little is known about his early childhood, but it is believed that he received a traditional education, which instilled in him the values of courage, integrity, and a strong sense of justice, values that would later define his life and struggle against British rule. The arrival of the British East India Company in the early 19th century marked a turning point in the history of Jaintia Hills. The once independent Jaintia Kingdom, ruled by the Siam king, found itself increasingly under the influence of the British, who were eager to exploit the region's resources and strategic location. Historical context of his time: the Jaintia Kingdom was originally an independent tribal state that extended from the Khasi Jaintia Hills to the plains of Sylhet, now in Bangladesh. In 1835, the British annexed the Jaintia Kingdom following their expansionist policies in northeast India. The annexation abolished the traditional kingship and replaced it with British administrative rule, disrupting the traditional governance system. The British also banned certain cultural and religious practices, including human sacrifices, which were part of ancient Jaintia rituals, creating further unrest among the people. By the 1860s, tensions between the British rulers and the Jaintia people had escalated, particularly over unfair taxation and interference in local customs. The simmering discontent among the Jaintias finally erupted in 1862, marking a turning point in their struggle against British rule. U Kiang Nangbah, witnessing the plight of his people and fueled by an unwavering sense of justice, emerged as a natural leader. His charisma, courage, and deep understanding of the Jaintia terrain made him a formidable force against the British. The revolt, spearheaded by U Kiang Nangbah, was characterized by guerrilla warfare tactics, exploiting the hilly terrain and the rebels' intimate knowledge of the land. The Jaintia warriors, armed with traditional weapons like swords, spears and bows and arrows, launched a series of surprise attacks on British outposts and communication lines, disrupting their administration and supply chains. The British, caught off guard by the ferocity and tenacity of the Jaintia resistance, found themselves on the back foot. They responded by pouring in reinforcements, determined to crush the rebellion and make an example of the Jaintias. The Jaintia resistance against British rule. In 1860, the British introduced a series of oppressive taxes, including house tax, a tax imposed on every household; income tax, unfamiliar to the self-sustaining tribal economy; taxes on betel leaves and betel nuts. These were important agricultural products and part of Jaintia traditions, making the tax deeply resented. These taxes led to widespread economic hardship and discontent among the Jaintia people, many of whom were subsistence farmers and traders. The British also sought to impose direct administrative control, weakening the authority of local chiefs, dolois, and elders. The interference in religious and customary practices further fueled nationalistic sentiments among the Jaintia people. Section 5. U Kiang Nangbah's leadership, a beacon in the storm. Throughout the rebellion, U Kiang Nangbah's leadership proved to be an inspiration for the Jaintia people. His strategic acumen, combined with his ability to unite the different Jaintia clans under a common banner, made him a formidable adversary to the British. More than just a military commander, U Kiang Nangbah was a symbol of hope and resistance for his people. He understood that their fight was not just about economic hardship, but about preserving their cultural identity and way of life, which were under threat from British colonialism. His leadership transcended the battlefield, instilling a sense of unity and purpose among the Jaintias. He rallied the people, urging them to fight for their rights and their freedom, reminding them that their struggle was just and that they were not alone in their fight against oppression. His words resonated with the Jaintia people, strengthening their resolve and fueling their resistance against the mighty British Empire. Leadership and resistance. U Kiang Nangbah, though a common farmer, emerged as a symbol of defiance due to his strong leadership qualities. He gained support from dolois, local chiefs, and sardars, clan leaders, uniting different factions of Jaintia society. Inspired by earlier tribal revolts like Utirot Singh Siam's war against the British, 1829–1833, he adopted guerrilla warfare tactics. His forces launched ambushes, surprise raids, and sabotage operations, attacking British administrative centres and disrupting supply lines. He managed to elude British capture for a significant period by blending into the hills and forests using his knowledge of the terrain. Section 6. Defeat and Martyrdom, a legacy forged in blood. Despite their valiant efforts and the initial successes against the British, the tide began to turn against the Jaintia rebels. The British, with their superior firepower and resources, gradually gained the upper hand. They employed a combination of brute force and cunning strategies, including a policy of divide and rule, to weaken the Jaintia resistance. U Kiang Nangbah was subjected to a mockery of a trial where the British, blinded by their arrogance and thirst for revenge, declared him guilty of waging war against the Queen. The revolt of 1862. By 1862, the resistance had grown into a full-fledged rebellion. U Kiang Nangbah and his fighters targeted British offices, tax collection centres and trade routes. The British, alarmed by the intensity of the attacks, sent reinforcements to crush the revolt. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the Jaintia warriors held their ground for months, displaying remarkable courage. The British, however, gradually tightened their control using superior weaponry and military reinforcements. As the British intensified their search for U Kiang Nangbah, they bribed informants and pressured local communities to reveal his whereabouts. He was eventually betrayed by one of his own people, leading to his capture by the British. The betrayal deeply wounded the morale of the Jaintia resistance, marking the beginning of the movement's decline. On December 30th, 1862, U Kiang Nangbah was publicly executed in Jowai. Even in his final moments, U Kiang Nangbah showed immense courage and dignity. On December 30th, 1862, U Kiang Nangbah was hanged at Ialmusyang, Jowai, in front of a large crowd. Before his execution, he is said to have made a prophetic statement: "If my face turns eastward when I die, my people shall be free soon. If it turns westward, they shall remain enslaved." According to local legends, his face turned eastward, symbolizing hope and the eventual liberation of the region. His execution, far from breaking the spirit of the Jaintia people, only served to strengthen their resolve to continue the fight for freedom. Section 7 U Kiang Nangbah in modern Jaintia Hills, a legacy remembered. Today, U Kiang Nangbah is revered as a national hero, not just in Meghalaya but throughout India. His sacrifice became a symbol of resistance against colonial rule, inspiring future generations to fight for their freedom. U Kiang Nangbah is regarded as a national hero of Meghalaya, remembered for his bravery and sacrifice. In 1967, in Jaintia Hills, his memory is kept alive through various memorials and commemorative events. The Kiang Nangbah Government College in Jowai stands as a testament to his enduring legacy, providing quality education to the youth and empowering them to become agents of change. Every year on December 30th, U Kiang Nangbah Day is observed with great solemnity and respect throughout the state of Meghalaya. People from all walks of life come together to pay homage to the great freedom fighter, remembering his sacrifice and drawing inspiration from his unwavering spirit. Cultural programs, processions, and speeches mark the occasion, reaffirming the values of freedom, justice, and self-determination that U Kiang Nangbah fought for. In 2001, the government of India issued a postage stamp commemorating his contribution to India's freedom struggle. Remembering his sacrifice and legacy, U Kiang Nangbah Monument stands as a tribute to his legacy. It is located on the banks of the Mintu River in Jaintia Hills district, Meghalaya, designed in a traditional Jaintia architectural style that symbolizes the pride and resilience of the Jaintia people. It was erected by the Jaintia tribe to honor their revered leader who fought against British colonial rule. U Kiang Nangbah's rebellion inspired later freedom movements in northeast India, including the Khasi resistance led by Utiro Singh, the Assam-based uprisings against British rule, the continued struggle for tribal autonomy and rights in the region. His fight against colonial rule is considered one of the earliest revolts in India's freedom struggle, highlighting the indigenous resistance that existed before the 1857 revolt. Section 9. Conclusion. The unquenchable spirit of freedom. U Kiang Nangbah's story is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human will, the unwavering pursuit of freedom, and the deep love for one's land and people. Even though his rebellion was ultimately crushed by the British, his sacrifice was not in vain. U Kiang Nangbah may have been defeated on the battlefield, but he emerged victorious in the hearts and minds of his people. His legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us that the fight for freedom is a continuous process, a relay race where every generation has to play its part. Section 8. The enduring legacy, inspiration for future generations. U Kiang Nangbah's legacy extends far beyond the borders of Meghalaya. His story is an integral part of the larger narrative of India's struggle for independence, serving as a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made by countless freedom fighters from every corner of the country. He is particularly revered in northeast India, where his fight for the rights of indigenous communities resonates deeply with the region's own history of resistance against colonial rule. U Kiang Nangbah's story continues to inspire generations of young people, reminding them of the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. His courage, determination, and unwavering commitment to his people serve as a beacon of hope and a call to action, urging us to strive for a more just and equitable society. U Kiang Nangbah's legacy is not just about remembering the past, it's about shaping the future, a future where every individual and community is free to live with dignity and respect. U Kiang Nangbah's story is a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit, fueled by the ideals of justice and liberty, can overcome the greatest of challenges. His life and sacrifice serve as a constant reminder that the fight for freedom is never truly over, as long as there is oppression and injustice in the world. U Kiang Nangbah remains a symbol of courage, resistance, and patriotism for the people of Meghalaya and northeast India. His fight against British oppression was not just about taxation, but about protecting the identity, culture, and sovereignty of the Jaintia people. Though he was ultimately captured and executed, his spirit lives on in the collective memory of the region. His story is a reminder of the indomitable will of indigenous communities to resist foreign domination and preserve their way of life. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.